Hey everybody, welcome back to Dinner and a Tip. My name is Brenda and I'm going to be your cooking guide. So we had some lovely snow last night. Was not prepared for. I know some people are like, oh, it's a beautiful winter wonderland. No, it's actually, to me, feels like a snow globe in hell. Not a big fan of the winter, but somebody in Las Vegas, Caitlin, hello, wanted me to make salmon. So for her, I'm going to come out into the wild and I'm actually going to go ahead and cook some salmon. I'm actually not a big fan of salmon, but I'm a big fan of Tuscan shrimp and Tuscan shrimp and Tuscan chicken. So I thought I would try some Tuscan salmon and see if I can convince myself that I actually like salmon. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this with just a little bit of olive oil before I go ahead and put it down. And then I'm just going to do some salt and pepper on this one. And I'm going to do both sides. And for this one, I'm not going to do a ton of seasonings on this because of the sauce that we're going to do is going to have a lot of seasoning in it. So go ahead and oil both sides. And then go ahead and get your salt and pepper on here. And then we're going to find a nice hot spot on the grill to throw our salmon down. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of. And to help this cook a little faster, I'm going to go ahead and throw the snow dome on it. And while that's cooking, let's go ahead and get going on our Tuscan seasonings. So for this one, we are going to do shallots. And normally I would be doing a sun-dried tomato, but I don't have them, so I'm going to do fresh tomatoes instead. And typically you don't really do mushrooms in a Tuscan dish, but there's nobody here to tell me I can't. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to go ahead and put our shallots, our mushrooms, and tomatoes in here. And then I get that cooking on high. And then I'm going to do a little garlic seasoning in this. Actually going to do a tablespoon of minced garlic. And if some of these things don't make you happy, then don't put them in. You don't need to put everything in. So, but I'm going to go ahead and I want to get these sauteing real quick while that salmon starts cooking. All right. So next up, I'm going to go ahead. And once these vegetables start cooking down, they're going to keep cooking while the sauce is going, but I do want to get a little bit of a saute on them ahead of time. So, and actually the pan isn't cooking as fast as I'd like, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw these on the grill to get them cooking faster. And then I'll go ahead and put them back in the pot. Let's go check that salmon. We've got some pretty color on that salmon already. So you're looking for that brown. You want that to be like flaky before you go ahead and eat it. So I've got a good saute coming on these vegetables. And actually, while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and do 1 cup of heavy cream. And then I'm also going to do this Better Than Bouillon. This is the Italian. This is just going to give us a little bit more flavor in our sauce. Kind of bring out the Italian in this one. So let's go ahead and scoop our sauteed vegetables, and we're going to go ahead and put this in that heavy cream. Basically, what I want to do is just get this warming up. So, and then we're going to go ahead and add some spinach into this once this gets seasoned. You want to get it into a little bit of a boil first. And actually, that salmon's coming along pretty quick. Salmon, probably about 3 minutes on each side. And because that's cooking faster than I had planned on, I'm just going to go ahead and slide the salmon over to the side. And let me just give it See kind of where it's starting to flake. So this is what you want, is for your salmon to be flaky. Oh, that's actually better than I thought it'd be. So, but let's continue on with this. We're gonna lower that salmon because I don't want to overcook it. And with your sauces, you want to always make sure you're always kind of tasting to make sure if you need more seasonings or... I'm going to say that's actually really good. So the Italian seasoning to me makes a huge difference. So next I'm going to go ahead and throw some spinach in here. This is about 2 cups of spinach, and I've got 2 cups or 2 salmons in this one. So let's go ahead and get that mixed. So with the spinach is what I want this to do is absorb some of that liquid. And I want to get it softened down so we're not just eating crunchy salad with our salmon. So, actually, I think because it's so cold, we're going to actually steal the cover from here and let this warm up a little bit. If you're in Minnesota or someplace else where it's nice and cold, it gets a little trickier cooking, I'm not going to lie. Just because of... the grill doesn't stay as hot. It's a little bit windier here. And I'm just going to flip this salmon one more time. Just I want to make sure that's getting cooked all the way through. I did leave the skin on this one. But when you go ahead and eat it, I'm a big fan of taking that skin off. So, all right. The spinach is starting to melt down a little bit, or wilt. Not melting. I wish the snow would melt because it's Halloween. It shouldn't be snowing yet, but unfortunately we don't get to be in charge of the weather here. So, and then got that coming along really good. So I'm probably going to cut the skin off before I serve this. So this is actually cooked all the way for me. So we're just going to shut that down, and then I'm just going to cover it. That way I'm going to keep that heat in there. And let's check on our spinach. And if it's Minnesota and you don't want to be outside on your Blackstone, obviously all of these things can be done inside with a cast iron skillet. So, all right. With this one, like I said, I did regular tomatoes. You certainly could do a sun-dried tomato. You could add more vegetables if you like. But for this one, I just did spinach, mushrooms, and shallots. You could do onions if you don't have the shallots. So, all right. So let's go ahead and check our fish. And I'm just going to set this fish right inside here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some of that sauce. And yes, I know the skin is still on, but that's all right. We'll just eat around it. All right. So this is what we've got going on. We've got the spinach. We've got the sauce. We've got the salmon. We've got all of our spices in there. We don't have our cameraman today, so he's still at school. But let's go ahead and give this a little bit of a try anyways. And our fork. So I'll show you what this looks plated pretty, but let's go ahead and see if I can change my mind about my own like of salmon. So yeah, I think I actually changed my mind about salmon. This is actually really, really good. I love the flavors of the chicken, or not the chicken, of the salmon and the Italian dressing. I'm probably going to go ahead and hit this with a little bit of Parmesan cheese because I forgot it inside. So I will add that in the recipe. Go ahead and subscribe. See what we got coming up next time. Actually, since it's a nice winter day, I'm actually going to make some chicken noodle soup. So stay tuned for that. They'll be up on the videos in the next day or two. Talk to you later. See you again. Bye.